Good evening, this is Dave Robinson, also known as Barley. Welcome to my YouTube channel Barley's World, Manchester 1968. Again, I'm going to read a little bit of an extract out of my book, White at the Black of Everything. And the tune I'm going to play afterwards to coincide with that period of my life will be by the Specials. And the track will be Rat Race. There's so many different tracks on the album I could have picked, but I just feel like Rat Race is a little bit more what I want to pick for this evening. Again, please leave a comment, please subscribe. You all know the score, how it all works, you all know the dance, so I can leave that with you. Before I read anything, people have asked me what made me want to write and why did I self-publish. Well, firstly, the reason why I wanted to write is because I've got a story in me, like we all have. And also it was very cathartic for me. Instead of walking around with all this stuff in my head, good, bad or indifferent, it's nice to try and get it on paper and get it out, and also to help other people and inspire other people. That's a real reason why I written my books, or books shall we say. And self-publishing really is because unless you're someone of significance, like, I don't know, a film star, movie star, or in a band, or a gangster, or a head, or someone who people are aware of, it's very, very, very difficult to get an agent and to get published. So the only other option you've got is to go self-publishing, which is a little bit more involved, a little bit more time consuming. It's all on your head because you've got to write it, find the cover, edit it, and there's going to be mistakes in it, do you know what I mean? Because I'm not like from a flipping, a writing background. You're just learning as you go along really, but the rewards are a lot better because when you see it on the shelf or when you know it's on Amazon, then you feel a little bit more satiated and feel more comfortable because at the end of the day you've done it all off your own back, off your own steam. So that's the benefit of doing it for me, and it's straightforward as well. And I've done 4 books off self-publishing, so there we go. Right, I'm going to read an extract from my book, White at the Black of Everything, which you can get from Amazon at the minute. Again, I'm just picking a random page. I'm not, there's no sequence to it. I read a little bit from my book, and then obviously we'll play Rat Race by the Specials, and then we'll just take it from there. And like I said, comments, please put them in. Subscribe if you feel you want to. Nice one. Here we go. Right, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with this period of my life. It's called Early Foundation. From around the age of 10 and all that, when I was really like just observing and seeing what was going on around me. So here we go. From the age of about 10 or so, I was always very observant. So anything that stood out to me, I would try and adapt to my life. Vicariously springs to mind. I recollect being really interested in black and white films from a very early age. This is because I really enjoy sitting down with my dad and bonding while watching some classic films. My dad at some point would comment on the actors' funny moments because he had seen them so many times. My dad likes to parade his knowledge when he gets a chance. I was forever asking my dad questions after questions. I was so inquisitive then, and I still am. So me and my dad would be at home watching a film in Longsight, 43 Daycroft Close. And it'd be like this. My dad would say to me, "Come on now, David, watch this part. Look how foolish the man is. I would never do this. I would never do that." Then I'd say to my dad, "Oh, Dad, who's the coolest actor? Bogart or Cagney?" Then my dad would say, "Probably more Cagney. He's a little bit more versatile than Bogart." Then I'd say to my dad, "Where was Errol Flynn's house in Jamaica?" My dad would say, "Oh, Flynn's house was in the parish of Falmouth." Then I'd go, "Who's the best cowboy, Dad?" My dad would say his favourite was Audie Murphy, but some would say John Wayne or Clint Eastwood is the all-time great. He would always get to the point where me and my dad could not wait for the film to finish so he could go for a fag and get away from me and my incessant questions. I learnt so much from my dad on those films that I became very impressed with the actors' dress sense, confidence, arrogance. It all seemed to touch a nerve with me. I was captivated. There was humorous films involving Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Basil Rathbone, Marx Brothers, and that genre that we would both laugh out loud, slap our thighs, and our eyes would always well up with tears. If there's one thing the Robinson family can do, is laugh from a place deep within our souls. Unfortunately, my dad's no longer with us. He died in 2014 from bowel cancer. A great shock and a great shame. What I would give to reminisce with my dad and chewed the fat over a classic black and white film while eating the best chicken and rice ensemble, wash down with a few cans of restaurant lager, and just go back to being that inquisitive kid again. My early heroes in films were Errol Flynn, Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, Ingrid Bergman, Vivian Leigh, Robert Taylor, John Wayne, James Dean, and the coolest Steve McQueen. I was always impressed with Bogart's appearance, and seeing him wear a Burberry Macintosh in the film Casablanca made me love all the quintessential British garments. Steve McQueen looking cool as fuck in the film The Thomas Crown Affair in his Harrington jacket, roll-neck sweater, and wearing his desert boots. In addition, James Dean with that nonchalant, I do not care what you think attitude, with his hands in his essential Levi's. Those solid imprints left in my head by those stars gave me my first introduction into clothes and attitude. It also helped that my dad was a snappy dresser, like most black men were who arrived there in the 50s. And as a matter of fact, that is where most of the mods and rude boys' influence and dress sense came from. So, just generally looking at that, from an early age, I was always observant in clothes and garments and, just was mesmerised by it. And as I got older and was in a position to maybe ask my parents if I could buy a certain pair of jeans or a certain pair of trainers, it was just because of those early films, you know what I mean? And it always stuck with me. And it didn't have to be anyone. It didn't have to be anyone in films. It could be anyone like a teacher. It could be anyone off the estate. It could be someone who just looked smart, or anyone who just stood out. And I'd be asking what's that label and how much you pay for that, or where'd you get that from? But yeah, from around the age of 10, because that was around the age when I first went to City as well. So around that time, that's where I really got an idea of like, oh yeah, I really like clothes, or you know what I mean, what's in, or not so much what's in, but I like style, not so much fashion, it's more style I'm into, individual style. So there we go, really. Just give me a little bit of a taste of what the book's about. Like I said, it's a great read. It's on Amazon at the minute. So if you get time out, you got to spend a few quid, give it a whirl. Right, onto the music. Like I said to you before, I'm going to play a tune by The Specials called Rat Race. For me, it just sums up that period of my life around, 11, 12, 13. You know what I mean? So yeah, here we go. So there we go. There's a tune by the Specials called Rat Race. Again, another soundtrack to my life growing up. And again, it's like anything else. I mean, when you think back to them times, they were great times. You know what I mean? You're a black kid off a council estate in Manchester. You're into the football, you're into the lads' fashion at the time, and the music and the whole ensemble. It was just a really, really great time. Very nostalgic. It was just a brilliant time. And so again, please leave a comment, subscribe if you like what you're seeing and what you're hearing. It's just about me talking about things, about my books. I'll talk about other things about Manchester, maybe talk about Man City, other types of music, bit more out of my book, extracts from my book. And then I'll go on to my other books, the other 3 books I've written as well, just give you a bit of a taste of what I've done and what I'm up to, and I'll just keep on discussing things, and I'll try to get into photography. I'm going to be travelling to Italy at some point, learning a second language, and into me running, into me swimming, and it's just everyday things really. But the most important thing is I'm trying to inspire people to pick up a pen, pick up a camera, and do the things you're born to do, man. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it is. So again, until I speak to you again, see you soon. Take care and look after yourself. Sweet.